Hi everyone, welcome to my review of Charlie Chaplin's 1am in 1916. So this will be a pretty short review of a short film, of course, but yes, it will be very short. This is a mutual film, part of the mutual films again, another Chaplin, and I watched this last week actually. I just never really got around to reviewing it because I've been, of course, reviewing a film every day, actual feature film, and I just forgot about this little short that I watched as well. And yeah, it's the reason I keep it short is because there's not really too much to say about it. It is pretty acclaimed, and some have called it comic mastery. And Charlie Chaplin, of course. I'll get this out of the way, of course, in this video. If you're watching this and you don't see my other videos of Chaplin, he's one of my 5 favourite directors of all time. I think he's a genius, and his feature films in particular have changed my life. So this really was a bit of a shock because I didn't like it too much. I liked it. And it was okay, but really, really disappointing for me. And it's the first one that I've actually been disappointed by. Even The Tramp I thought was very, very good, and at times definitely great. This one, of course, it's just Chaplin really in it. There's a cab driver, an actor that plays a cab driver as well, but it's really just Chaplin, and that is not really an excuse because there's many sequences in his films where he's on his own, or pretty much on his own, and he's great. This one, he basically comes in at 1 in the morning. Of course, he's a wealthy guy, and he comes home drunk, and he can barely get out of the cab, which has got some funny moments in it. Then he goes into his house. He thinks he's forgot his key, and he climbs in the window and all that sort of stuff. Classic kind of slapstick stuff. The way that it plays out, and basically goes around the rest of his house, all the way up until he tries to get to bed, and unfortunately, this lasts over 25 minutes, and I say that because I don't. There's nothing. Of course, it could have been that long. It's just it wasn't. Unfortunately, it did not sustain the time. If you knocked 10 minutes off that on this occasion, because it clearly didn't have enough material, it would have been a lot better. Would have flowed better. Because basically, he goes through all the different things. It's just him interacting with different objects or things in the house, like the stairs, and there's some funny stuff there. There's some funny stuff, and it's got a charm and an innocence to it. That's what I like about it. It's got, Chaplin, basically, as well, the plot of the film, of course, he's drunk, and that's meant to be the main kind of humour to it. There's many times where, in Ozu films, in Hitchcock films as well, where, drunk jokes are funny. I don't drink myself, but they are funny, and they, it doesn't always have to be crass and just stupid. It's proven that in cinema that it can be funny. But I always get a bit a bit nervous about a film that is really centered around that, because it can go wrong and it can be just not funny for me, and just a bit one note. It depends as well, of course, on the actor. Luckily, the facial expressions or anything, they're not over the top. Chaplin pulls that off. It's just, it's just not that funny a lot of the time, because what he does, unfortunately, is there's some good sequences, there's some fine sequences, a couple of chuckles here and there, and there was one moment where it was actually really funny. But what he does is he drags them out, well beyond what they should be. It's not sequences that build and build in a way that really do at the end satisfy. It's not, and there is a progression to it. That you can merit, but at times as well it's just too much. He just drags out the table one in particular, the table sequence, where he just goes around in a circle. He does it for a long time, about 3 minutes, and it's funny at first, quite funny, not hilarious and not masterful, but then he drags it out and it just becomes annoying, and you kind of just think, yeah, all right, you've done that, move on. And it takes a while. And then the stair sequence, it's got some of the most creative parts in it, but it goes on for well over 5 minutes, and on this occasion it just gets boring, because he just keeps falling down the stairs, and it's more frustrating than funny. I loved the bit where he climbed up the kind of the coat hanger bit. That was really, really good, and there's a physicality once again of it, but it really as well, it lacks the kind of interactions, human interactions that he has in pretty much all of his other films. It's not a comedy drama. It is just a comedy really, and that would have been fine. But the material that he's got, of course, written and directed again, it doesn't it doesn't warrant the runtime on this occasion. And, you know, it's only just over 25 minutes, but you know, you've got to be careful with a short, because you know, especially when there's no one else in the film and there's no actual kind of drama or anything. Um, you know, it relies just on the slapstick, this film, and you know, it's obviously a mixed bag in my opinion. It is overall, I think, very much just onto that average mark, and I do like it because I didn't dislike it. You know, I didn't hate it. You know, I know someone that did hate it, but you know, it just it doesn't really go anywhere a lot of the time because it keeps dragging things out and because there's no human interactions really. It's got some funny moments, and I think it's well shot once again. It's well, you know, I like Chaplin in it. I like the innocence in it again. You know, it's very very nice little touching moments at the end where he goes to bed. It's nice, you know. It's a nice little. It's got its nice little moments, and it's not, you know, mean spirited. I didn't find it pretentious or anything like that. You know, I can't really find that with Chaplin. And you know, it does have some things to merit. You know, some pretty creative stuff and stuff that does work, but you know, I can only go so far. The stuff that worked would have been, it would have been a higher score if they would have dragged out so much. That's one of the main things. The fact that it's kind of one no jokes a lot of the time, and they, you know, the sequences that are there, you know, the stairs in particular, are dragged out too far. It just becomes, you know, how much can you laugh at that? You know, there's only so much you can kind of laugh at that because it's not like a massive progression where there's like loads of different staircases and they're all varied. It's the same one. He goes up and down, falls down. He tries different things, but at times, you know, it's not even got enough variety in that. You know, kind of the way he progresses with it. So yeah, overall, we'll wrap up. You know, I thought it was fine. It was very much an average film. Disappointed, yes, but I can't let the fact that Charlie Chaplin made this film get in the way of, you know, and annoy me. Not annoy me, but you know, make me even more disappointed. As a film on its own, as a short film, I'd give it a 60%. You know, as a Chaplin, obviously massively disappointing because I've always loved or really, really liked all the Chaplins I've seen. And, you know, this is often mutual comedies as well. The ones I was preferring to the SNAs, you know, the SNAs are here. And, you know, just some of the other ones I saw were so stunning. This one, check it out. It's very much an experimental film. You know, the fact, very gimmicky, but it's fine. You know, it's fairly well made. It's you know, it's got some funny moments, but way too much. Too much. It's dragged out too far, and not enough material to kind of sustain it and keep my interest throughout the entire film, really. And yeah, no, it does have its charming moments and everything. It's not bad, and it's just very much an okay film. And that's not what you'd expect from Chaplin. But on its own, that's what I'd give it, 60%. Check it out. So yeah, thanks for watching my review of Charlie Chaplin's 1am.